Learn to pivot through these changes. We're going to be talking about that coming up. How's it going? Welcome to Motivation Inspired. I'm Isaac. I'm so glad you're here. One of the things that I looked at in my life, changes do happen. Okay. So, are we prepared for change? Not everybody. Okay. So, hopefully, in this video and this podcast will bring some light to whatever you're going through. Hopefully, I've encouraged you throughout this video. And the crazy thing is that everybody's watching this right now and have not yet subscribed. So, for those of you who are looking at this right now, be sure to go ahead and subscribe and make sure you make sure you share this video. Tell people about this channel and how this will actually help them out. Hopefully, through the walks and journeys that I've gone through, that will encourage you and inspire you each and every single day. Now, people fear change, okay? Why? Because they don't understand the reason for that, okay? And guess what? There's a resistance. They pull away. They don't like it. Why? Because it's their daily routine. You take them out of your comfort zone, and however, people start complaining. They complain about changes happening. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. In my workplace, changes are about to happen, or if not, has already at the moment. And when we got the announcement for the change, it was my supervisor, in which people were having a hard time because the simple fact that someone new is coming in, and everything that they're doing right now, they're secured about what they're doing, but they fear about the change. All right, so I'm going to share with you how I dealt with changes and how it's actually helped me out. I always refer to the Bible, okay? And I'm going to look into John chapter 14, verse 1. And this is the setting where I'm going to paint the picture so you can understand where I'm coming from. Jesus was comforting the disciples, okay? In about four chapters down, chapter 18, Jesus gets arrested, okay? So before he gets arrested, Jesus wanted to tell the disciples, because I'm imagining this, that the disciples is like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen when Jesus is gone? What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Look, changes happen, and in every perspective in your life, where there be a change of political views, or a change of things at your work, maybe a new teacher, maybe something you can relate, that change is about to happen, okay? Whether you on board or not, here's what happens. When Jesus said to the disciples, don't let your hearts be troubled. What are you getting excited for? What seems to be the problem? What seems to be why you're getting all worked up for? Okay? Because people do work up. They work themselves out, and they're like getting all crazy and stuff, and then they have this fear and anxiety and like, oh, what's going to happen next? Well, let me tell you what Jesus said. Don't let your hearts be troubled. Okay? You believe in God? Okay, remember, this is my perspective and how I look at things, and how I deal with changes. And this is what he was saying to the disciples. You believe in God? And I'm sure the disciples, yeah, I do. I believe in God. Then he says, believe in me also. Believe in me. Okay? There are many rooms in my Father's house. So he's trying to chill. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prepare the house for us. So when you come to heaven and join me, this is going to be so awesome, right? If this were not true, that's what he's saying to the disciples. What I have told you, why, I would have told you, if, what's the real reason, the purpose where I'm going? I mean, if it wasn't true, I'm telling you, this is where I'm going to be going. This is where I'm going to beheaded. Okay, and would I have told you what I would prepare a place for you there? I would have never told you that. That's what he's saying. I would have never told you that. But if I go and do that, I will come back. So Jesus promised that he will come back, and he's going to fulfill his promise. I believe that Jesus will come back soon, and he will come back. And he says, and I will take you with me. That's a great promise. Then also where where I'm going to be at, okay? And you know where the place is going to be at. You know it's going to be heaven. We're going to be, turning up. We're going to be having fun. We're gonna not deal with the things in this world anymore, and that's going to be pretty awesome. And you're going to have somebody asking, and no matter, let's say you have your boss, like I was referring to you earlier, your boss, and he, there's always somebody going to ask something. I don't know what it is, but here you find Thomas asking Jesus. Thomas said to him, "Lord, we don't know where you're going." You know what? I just told you in front of the other 11 guys. How could you forget? I mean, I just can imagine why Thomas asked this weird question when he was just telling them where he was going. He was preparing the place for us, Now, so it's funny because Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." That was verse 6. That's what he told them. And no one comes to the Father except through me. And if you really know me, if you know who I am, you will know the Father also. Okay, he's reassuring Thomas, there's nothing to worry about. I just told you, from now on, do you know him? And have you seen him? Of course, you've seen him. You've seen Jesus. You've seen, and here's Philip. Philip comes around and he's asking his questions too. Philip says, "Lord, show us the Father." What? He said, I can only imagine. Hey, listen, he says, "Lord, show us the Father. That will be just good enough for us." Jesus says, "Come on, Philip. Don't you know who I am? Philip, don't you know who I am?" Here you got Thomas and you got Philip. They're asking these questions. Here's the bottom line, okay? The bottom line is you need to understand that whatever you're going through life, there are always going to be changes. You got to learn how to pivot, okay? Now, if you can't do that, then you're going to have to find a way that's going to help you work through these changes, okay? Because believe it or not, those changes are there for a reason, okay? Improvement. Things are going to improve. When Jesus told these disciples, "You're not going to have to live in this world anymore. You're not going to deal with all the drama. You're not going to deal with this if you fulfill my promises." And speaking of promises, Jesus said this in chapter 14, verse 15. He says, "If you love me, obey my commandments." So if you say you love me, then do what I ask you to do. And that's what he said. "I will ask the Father, and he will give you another friend to help you," and that's the Holy Spirit. He will give you the Comforter. The Comforter, the Holy Spirit of God, will be with you, and that is your friend. So Jesus is bringing the Comforter. He's telling them, "Hey, I promise you, the Holy Spirit will come, and when the Holy Spirit comes, I will be there with you." Okay, and on the day that you realize that I am in the Father, then you'll know that you are in me and I am in you. Okay, and anyone who has my commands and obeys them loves me. My Father will love me, the one who loves me too. I too will love them. Okay, so it's a great promise. God's fulfilling everything, and that way you understand. So when it comes to changes, learn how to pivot. Okay, now that we know how to deal with changes, I want to ask you to go and tell people about this channel and how effective it is, make sure you comment, make sure you tell people about this channel. We'll see you in the next